Hi there, Courtney Robinson here. I'm here to talk business today, business and money. So many of you know me as a medical yoga therapist and also someone who is passionate about personal finance. So I don't know if everyone on here knows that my husband and I own two businesses. We have my medical yoga therapy business, which is basically me, and I own a yoga school. I work as a contractor in the medical world. I also do presentations. For years, I did teaching, public classes, and private classes. I still occasionally will see people privately if they are really, really sick and they have no other options. I will see them, but mostly I work in the medical world now, and I run that business and my yoga school. I also help run my husband's business. I do the marketing side of it, and I keep the books for that on a very basic level. So what I want to share with you today is how we took our businesses and grew them from what I would call a side hustle into a full-time gig. And they both are making upwards of six figures. So mine obviously a little less because the margin is so different. But when we met, Jim and I were making combined less than $40,000 a year. That was 7 years ago. And today it's substantially different. And so when we met, Jim was running a dojo and he was working part-time as a police officer in the court system, and he was doing side work like building fences and roofs and doing a roof here and there for someone he knew, building a fence or building a deck. I had been teaching yoga and had a small school that I was doing part-time. I had no intentions of ever going full-time, but life changed and I got divorced. And when we met, we had both gotten divorced and had taken a substantial financial hit due to that. So I had to go to work. So I went to work as an administrator for the nonprofit where I was teaching, and I started being an administrator over all of the fitness classes, not just yoga, but like 60 classes a week. And I was in charge of all the teachers, the scheduling, the firing, the hiring, the training. And my husband, eventually, over a couple of years, he kept doing the dojo. It wasn't profitable. He had many profitable dojos in the past, but he was in a poorer community, and my husband is such a sweetheart. He did not have the wherewithal to charge people who really couldn't afford it. And there were a lot of kids with disabilities, and that's how I got there with my son who has a disability. So anyways, but he was doing this roofing thing on the side. My husband's father was a church builder back in the early days. He built churches, and my husband had experience working with him in construction for many, many years. I'm going to try to keep this video fairly short because I have to get to work. So I want to tell you what we did. My husband ended up going back to work full-time as a police officer in a position where he gets off every afternoon. He has regular hours and a good, nice lunch hour so that he can do the roofing business before work, on his lunch hour, after work, and on weekends. Also, he has a little bit more of a flexible schedule, and here are the things you have to do. You have to figure out if you have a second job or a side hustle. A second job is something you do to pay debt, earn a little extra money. A side hustle is something you're passionate about, but you really like. I can't say my husband is passionate about roofing. I'm passionate about my job in the yoga therapy world, but the roofing was definitely a way for us to buy and pay for our farm, to get out of debt, to build a life together and retire. So what we did is we both worked a day job while we were working on our side hustle. And so for me, it was something I had been doing. I just had to work that much harder. In our free time, we worked on it. In our free time, I do marketing, Facebook marketing, social media marketing, YouTube marketing. I share stuff on YouTube. I will post. I will blog. I wrote a book in my free time. Things like that. We constantly were working on the business in our free time, so that we didn't have a lot of free time for a long time. The third thing, or the fourth thing we did, was we took it seriously. We got serious. We got all of our business license, LLCs, contractor's license, we got an accountant. We did all of these things. A lot of people are afraid to do these things because they feel like It's going to be so expensive, but it kind of happens organically. You won't necessarily need an accountant when you're making $100 a month, but when you're making substantially more, you're probably going to need an accountant. So you have to take yourself seriously. Get all the proper business license, everything you need, contractor's license, anything you need. You've got to take yourself seriously. If you don't take yourself seriously, no one else is going to, and they pick up on that mindset. The next thing you have to do, and this is part of our marketing plan all the time, and I think it's where a lot of people fall short, and it's so simple, but it is so undervalued, and that is take care of your current clients. Rather than constantly trying to reach out and get new clients, if you're taking care of the clients that you have, then you're going to be having those people refer you. Most of our customers have been referrals. In the yoga business I'm in and in the roofing business, 90% of our business is referral business. And that's because we take care of our customers. So you want to take care of your customers. You want to give them the very best service you can. You want to, if you have a mistake or something goes wrong, you want to own up to it and fix it, because in business, there's always a margin of error, especially in the roofing business. There's always stuff that can go wrong. I mean, you can have a crew that didn't do something correctly, or you can get defective shingles. I mean, it's just, there's a lot of risk in roofing. So we have to run into that all the time. And so we give warranties for our work. We go back out and fix things for free when needed. And we try to stand behind our work. And my husband goes and personally checks every single crew to make sure. And he gets his tack picker upper out there magnet, and he cleans, or we pay someone to go do it. But we are very big on making sure the job is cleaned up well and that everyone is taken care of. The next thing you have to do, and I've already touched on this, is you have to have a good marketing plan. You have to know how you're going to reach people. Our marketing plan for the roofing business this year is continued social media and linking all your accounts. You want to link your website, your Facebook, your Instagram, whatever you do, Twitter, and your YouTube. Anything you do, you don't have to do all those things, but you want to make sure that they're connected together in some way. I need to do a little better with this, but I've been doing it so long. I have a lot of dense content out there. But I noticed that on my personal page, I took pictures of some roofs that we did. I posted it on Instagram and Facebook, and then I tagged our website, and that upped our website traffic by about 400% in 1 week. So you have to constantly, and you have to be consistent. Social media awards consistency. The next thing you want to do is scale back as you scale up. Now, when you're talking about scaling, that means how large do you want your business to be? If you're working a day job and your other business is growing, you want to scale back on the one that's not making enough money and scale up on the one that is. Now, that is not something we're able to do right now, because the police work gives my husband a steady paycheck, pays all of our health insurance, our life insurance, and we have to have that. And so I have a heart defect and he has heart disease. And while we're both healthy and work out, we've still had these procedures, and it's really going to be hard to get health insurance. But we're on a trajectory to retire in 4 years. My husband, I don't want to retire right now, but I will go part-time. So what we're doing is our marketing plan is social media, and we're doing a billboard this year, and then we have signage that we put out in people's yards when we do a roof for them. We ask their permission, and signage that we put up around different places. So that's our marketing plan with the roofing. I'm scaling back my business because my business as a contractor has grown, and I don't need to do all of those things I used to do anymore. I am doing a couple of presentations a year, working more in the clinic so that I can work less. So I'm scaling back. I'm closing my yoga school. My lead teacher is opening a school. I'm supporting her in that. But I'm working more in the medical yoga therapy world because that works with my schedule. And the pay is nice and consistent. And it's a 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. job for the most part. And it's a fantastic schedule. And I absolutely love it. And it makes me feel good. So that is how we grew. And I would say be patient. This all took us a process of about 7 years. On average, my yoga business would net low six figures, and I'm sorry, gross low six figures, and net me an average income about $50,000 when I was working it really hard. I've paid off all my debt, so I'm scaling back. My income may drop, but I don't have the debt, so I don't have to work as hard. And on the roofing business, we are scaling up with a goal of 10 more roofs per year each year as we pay off our mortgage and then sock away a lot of money in the last few years. But we have never changed our lifestyle from living on the 2 day job incomes. So my medical yoga therapy job and my husband's police work. We live on that income, which I will tell you is around $50,000-$60,000 a year, and that's not the net. The net's actually a little lower. It's about maybe less than $4,000 a month, and then we use everything else to pay for any major expenses on our farm, cash, and we pay our mortgage off, and we save, and we pay our taxes. The one thing I didn't tell you that is so important, that sinks so many businesses, you have to treat your business budget like you treat your household budget. This whole idea of you have to have money to make money and you have to borrow money and have lines of credit will sink a business fast. We do not do that. We do have credit cards. We pay them off monthly. We only use them for certain expenses when we're out. We watch it very carefully. We budget every month with our business on that and make sure that we're not overspending. So you must have a reserve. You need to figure out what your reserve needs to be. And in the roofing business, it's a lot more because the risks are so high. It's very easy to have a $10,000 expense in the roofing business. We had a situation last year where someone's carport caved in, and it was one of our crew's fault. I mean, stuff like that rarely happens, and it was just kind of a freak accident. But we had, thank God nobody was hurt, but we had insurance. They had insurance, but we had to pay quite a bit of that out of our reserve. We didn't have to put it on a credit card because we kept that $10,000 in there. We also keep our taxes put back so that we have to have money to pay taxes. So you must have a reserve. And the same things that will sink a household budget, debt, overextending yourself, buying things you don't need, will do the same thing to your work budget and to your business. So patience, a reserve, using a budget, being mindful of your spending and keeping your costs down are huge in being successful in business. So I hope this has been helpful to you. I wish you well. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this content, please give a thumbs up and subscribe. If you have any questions for me on business, I would be so happy to help you. But what I want you to know is we're not really that unique. I mean, I feel like we're average smarts people. We work really hard. We complement each other, and we've just been consistent and worked hard. And we sometimes have to punt and have mistakes and learn from them just like anybody else, but we just don't give up. Alrighty. Thank you. Bye-bye.